Thank you for joining Cancer Support Community Atlanta for this program. Please visit our website, cscatlanta.org, for a complete list of live and recorded events. We invite you to sign up for our newsletter to stay connected to all future programs.
Hi, this is Chef Kip. We are doing a series on 15-minute meals, and today we're going to make lemon Parmesan chickpea salad. So this chickpea salad I have been making since back when people wrote blogs and read blogs on the internet. This recipe came from a food writer, blogger, memoirist, also in Seattle. I didn't know her personally, just coincidence that we both were in Seattle. But she posted about this, and I can't remember when I started making it, but it is something that my kids have always really, really loved. And at this point, I taught my son to make it. He's now 11, and he, about 5 or 6 months ago, taught his 6-year-old sister to make it. And so I'm off the hook at my house for making this now. So again, this works. The recipe is tailored for just one 15-ounce can of chickpeas, so that's just a regular standard size can. This is 4 cans of chickpeas right here. I have long ago moved away from measuring anything in this recipe. I really just eyeball it, but it is so simple. One thing I will say is that because it's only 5 or 6 ingredients, having a really nice ingredients shines here. So if you have an olive oil that maybe somebody gifted you, or a fancier olive oil that you use for finishing things, this is a really great use for that because the flavor is going to stand out and really be able to shine here. As far as chickpeas goes, I play around with all different brands. You guys know I'm a nerd about beans, so I also cook my own beans from dry a lot. And if I'm cooking a pound of beans at a time, some of them are definitely going to get turned into this at some point during the week that those are hanging out in my refrigerator. It is literally a can of chickpeas, the zest and juice from half a lemon, a drizzle of olive oil, salt, pepper, and some Parmesan cheese. Now, I really like Parmigiano Reggiano, and I buy it in the wedges so that I can grate it down. You can buy pre-shredded if you want. It's going to change the textural difference. I also really like the sort of fluffy way the microplane turned the cheese. I just really like that texture here. That's just a personal preference. If you want to taste a little bit more of that like crunch or bite or have a different textural experience, using a box grater or something with a bigger grate is just going to give you a different cheese experience. I kind of like how it sort of emulsifies and kind of melts in with the microplane. Also, I've always got my microplane out already because I'm gonna take advantage of the flavor living right here on the outside of this lemon, and I'm gonna zest this lemon. So that's where I'm gonna start. But the order of operations here doesn't really matter. You're gonna dump all the stuff in the bowl, and you're gonna stir it till it looks and tastes right. And my kids have gotten into sort of going back and forth with each other about, is that right enough? Is that right enough? I think what happens is they get bored of shredding the cheese before, and they're like, oh, this is enough, and they'll bring it to me, and I'm like, it needs more cheese. But, I used to have one of those sort of twirly grindy, there's probably a better name for that, the rotating, rotary cheese grinder. Yep, that thing. I had one of those for a while. I don't know, maybe it broke. Maybe if I got another one, my kids would be more independent in this. I tend to not enjoy kitchen gadgets that only, as we call them, unitaskers, that only do one thing. And this thing, of course, does quite a few things. It's so ideal for citrus zest grating. There it is. All right, so give this a Squeeze. This is another thing I take on camping trips. It's just, again, because it makes ahead of time. The kids eat it. I have that same kid that's not so into spicy food is also a little less into vegetables. But if I can get her to eat beans, we're going to call it good. Bless their hearts. Sometimes I'm like, y'all kids, you were stuck with a dietitian mom. You're going to thank me later, but right now it might feel like a drag. No, I try not to be overly dogmatic about food with them, but, feeding them well, feeding people well is literally my life's work. Okay, so let's grab another little, we're going to get this tossed up and stirred. We're going to give it a little salt pinch or so. We're going to give it a little olive oil drizzle. Again, I often am not measuring. Those ratios that are listed on there is a good place to start for sure. For my little one, we're going to leave out the black pepper, but I think it really makes it. And then, see how this gets into a nice fluff, and then I'll stir it every so often, and it'll just sort of dissolve in there. The one thing about a microplane and cheese is that if you're measuring, you're going to get a different yield if you are grating the cheese like this. A third of a cup of cheese this way and a third of a cup of cheese this way yields a very different weight of cheese. So you want to keep that in mind. What I'm looking for here is that I would just want the cheese to kind of cling and coat evenly. It's not like you're fully making a vinaigrette. Oh, so other adaptations or variations of this. This is a good sort of base to start with, but if you've got other vegetables and you want to turn this into a bean salad, that's going to be awesome. The other thing I will sometimes do with this is, you've got these already tasty seasoned chickpeas is I might then, if I've had this, in my refrigerator for a day or two and looking to put things together, you could put this together with the Emerald City salad, or the other thing I will do is add it to pastas. Or if you're making some sort of grain bowl or something, just keeping this around. I will just eat this out of the bowl and be completely content and happy. Sometimes I'll even sit down at the table and not stand over the kitchen sink. All right, so we're getting there. The cheese is starting to look like it's coating. Yeah. All right, so, and we want to, it's clumping up a little bit, but we'll keep spreading it out. And the other thing that the cheese does is it sort of grabs up the lemon juice so that it's not all sitting at the bottom. We didn't make a full emulsified vinaigrette, and so the cheese just sort of helps it all mix in. So let's give this one a taste. I was expecting to need that one to need some adjustment, but it could use a little salt and probably a little bit more pepper. So no, not entirely. I didn't do it every time.
I'm comforted by the fact that you're always trying for perfection.
That's right. I mean, you guys are about to evaluate it, so you're going to know. All right. I'm wondering if I have another little bowl down here. I've used up a lot of bowls. but we'll put it in a little bowl. My daughter will pack this in her lunch sometimes for school. Oh yeah, look at that, so cute. So easy, Parmesan lemon chickpea salad. So easy, so satisfying. It's a lot of bang for your buck there, folks.
Thank you for joining Cancer Support Community Atlanta for this program. If you're interested in other live or recorded programs, please visit the online program tab of our website, cscatlanta.org. Or follow us on Facebook. We'll be sharing additional information on upcoming programs.